Was Venus destroyed by nuclear war? Was Venus once destroyed by a nuclear war? Today, the surface of this planet is hotter than 860 degrees Fahrenheit. Its atmospheric pressure is more than 90 times greater than Earth's, and its sky is covered by thick clouds containing sulfuric acid. But some climate models suggest that early Venus may once have been cooler, is, and may even have supported liquid water. So what transformed Earth's sister planet into hell? Some people believe the answer may not lie only in a runaway greenhouse effect, but in an ancient civilization that destroyed itself through nuclear war. To be clear from the beginning, no scientific evidence confirms that this ever happened. But the arguments behind the theory are strange enough to have kept it alive for years. Venus is often called Earth's twin sister because its size and mass are relatively similar to those of our planet. But today, the two worlds could hardly be more different. Earth has oceans, a relatively stable climate, and life. Venus is a scorching world, covered by an extremely dense atmosphere, clouds containing sulfuric acid, and surface temperatures hot enough to melt lead. That extreme contrast gave rise to one of the most haunting fringe theories about Venus. Could it once have been a green and habitable planet, only to be destroyed by an ancient civilization through nuclear war? This is not a conclusion accepted by mainstream science. There is no direct evidence that a civilization ever existed on Venus, and there is certainly no confirmed evidence that a catastrophic global conflict ever occurred there. The theory survives because it combines several real facts with interpretations that belong far more to science fiction than established science. To understand why some people find it compelling, we first have to look at the possible history of Venus. Today, the surface temperature of Venus is approximately 860 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 460 degrees Celsius. Its atmospheric pressure is more than 90 times that of Earth, and its atmosphere is composed mostly of carbon dioxide, while its upper cloud layers contain concentrated droplets of sulfuric acid. Those droplets do not fall intact all the way to the ground because they normally evaporate long before reaching the planet's superheated surface. But Venus may not always have looked like this. Some climate models suggest that in the distant past, Venus may have been cooler than it's today, and its atmosphere is composed mostly of carbon dioxide. We do not know with certainty how much water existed there, how long it may have lasted, or whether conditions were ever stable enough to support life. Some studies even suggest that Venus may have become dry very early and may never have maintained long-lived surface oceans. But the possibility that early Venus was once more temperate than it is now makes the mystery even more compelling. If Venus once had water, a milder climate, and potentially habitable conditions, what turned it into hell moment? The most widely accepted scientific explanation is a runaway greenhouse effect. Venus is closer to the Sun than Earth and receives more solar energy. And if oceans or surface water began to evaporate, the growing amount of water vapor would have caused the atmosphere to trap more heat. Rising temperatures would have caused even more water to evaporate. More water vapor would then have trapped even more heat. A dangerous feedback loop would have formed. Eventually, much of the planet's water may have been lost. Carbon dioxide accumulated in the atmosphere, and Venus became locked in an extremely hot state. This transformation may have occurred rapidly on a geological time scale, but it would still have been an extended, natural process, rather than the immediate result of a single explosion. Nuclear war is not required to explain it. So, where did the nuclear war theory come from? Supporters of the idea commonly point to three groups of supposed clues. But when examined carefully, none of them represents verified evidence. The first supposed clue is the composition of Venus's atmosphere. Some fringe articles have connected noble gas, isotopes in the atmosphere of Venus, with nuclear reactions. Their argument is that the presence of certain isotopes could indicate that large-scale nuclear explosions once took place, but that interpretation goes far beyond the available evidence. Noble gas isotopes can originate through natural, radioactive decay and processes connected to the formation of a planet. They can later be released, redistributed, or accumulated through geological activity, volcanic outgassing, atmospheric loss, and long-term interaction with the solar wind. They are not exclusive fingerprints of nuclear war. Venus also has a complex geological history. Volcanic activity over billions of years could have released many gases from the planet's interior into its atmosphere. At the same time, Venus does not have a strong global magnetic field like Earth's, which means its upper atmosphere has experienced prolonged interaction with the solar wind. These natural processes can explain many of the planet's unusual chemical features, without requiring the existence of a civilization detonating nuclear weapons across the globe. The second supposed clue is the presence of structures described as the ruins of ancient cities. Some older radar images of the surface of Venus revealed bright and dark regions, lines and shapes that reminded certain viewers of artificial structures. 10. This LED to online claims that spacecraft had discovered ancient cities, architectural foundations, or areas of the surface that had been melted into glass by extreme heat. But the problem lies in how radar images are created. Venus is permanently hidden beneath thick clouds, so spacecraft cannot photograph most of its surface with ordinary, visible light. Radar must be used to penetrate the cloud cover and map the terrain below. In radar images, brightness does not necessarily represent color or material in the way that the human eye would see it. It can change because of surface roughness, slope, mineral composition, viewing angle, volcanic craters, ridges, and other natural formations can create remarkably balanced shapes or illusions that resemble architecture. To date, no structure on Venus has been confirmed. As a city, a building, or a construction created by an ancient civilization. There is also no reliable evidence that tens of thousands of artificial ruins have ever been identified on the planet's surface. Claims like these mainly appear in speculative sources, rather than verified scientific research. The same applies to flames of glass-covered terrain, melted rock, or smooth-looking surfaces do not automatically point to nuclear explosions. Venus has a powerful volcanic history. Lava can spread across enormous areas and cool into vast plains with unusual radar reflectivity. More importantly, radar does not work like an ordinary photograph. It measures factors such as roughness, slope, and reflectivity, basaltic lava flows, fractures, and volcanic terrain, and other natural Geological structures can produce bright regions, dark regions, straight-looking lines, and flat-looking areas without requiring a nuclear blast. Late. The third supposed clue is the apparently rapid environmental transformation of Venus. People who believe in the extreme planetary transformation theory argue that Venus changed from a potentially habitable world, into hell, too quickly for natural processes alone, but too quickly in everyday language and too quickly in geology are very different ideas. A transformation lasting 1 million years sounds unimaginably slow to a human being. In the history of a planet, however, it can be considered rapid and a runaway greenhouse effect. Massive volcanic activity, atmospheric changes, and long-term water loss could have combined to push Venus into a completely different state without any intervention from an intelligent civilization. Does that mean the nuclear war theory has been absolutely disproven? We have to be careful with that wording. Science rarely declares that an unobserved event was absolutely impossible. But at the present twice, there is no evidence that Venus ever supported a technological civilization. There is also no evidence that nuclear war transformed the planet into the hellish world we see today. Natural explanations fit the available observations far better. The idea of nuclear war on Venus should therefore be treated as a science fiction story, inspired by real planetary data, not as a scientifically demonstrated hypothesis. But that does not make the story meaningless. Behind the images of ancient cities, nuclear weapons, and a vanished civilization lies an even more disturbing question. Can a planet lose its habitability? Because environmental changes move beyond the point of control. At least in principle, the answer is yes. Venus shows that a planet, similar to Earth in size, can follow an entirely different path once the climate, atmosphere, and carbon cycle change dramatically enough. A world that may once have been capable of holding water can become completely uninhabitable. Venus does not need to be the remains of a self-destructive civilization to serve as a warning. A planet's habitability is not a permanent gift. It depends on distance from its star, atmospheric composition, geological activity, the presence of water, the carbon cycle, and the balance between many interconnected systems. When those systems cross a critical threshold, the consequences may be extremely difficult to reverse. This does not mean that Earth is currently on a path toward becoming a second Venus. The two planets have but different orbits, atmospheres, and climate histories, but Venus demonstrates that the habitability of a world is not an unchanging condition. And perhaps that is why the theory of nuclear war on Venus continues to fascinate so many people. Not because it has strong evidence, but because it reflects our own fears. We fear that a civilization could become intelligent enough to transform an entire planet, yet still fail to become wise enough to stop before it is too late. Perhaps Venus never had cities. Perhaps no nuclear weapon ever exploded on its surface. Perhaps no ancient civilization ever disappeared beneath its acid clouds. But the planet still forces us to confront a question we cannot ignore. How much change can a world endure before it can no longer remain a home for life? The universe is vast enough to make almost any story feel possible. But between all the theories of lost civilizations and extraterrestrial wars, there is a more important truth we currently know with certainty of only one planet that supports life. That planet is Earth. And instead of waiting to discover evidence of another world that died because of the mistakes of its civilization, perhaps the more important task is to make sure that story never becomes our own future. Do you believe the mainstream scientific explanation? Or do you believe the nuclear war theory may still hide a forgotten truth? Share your opinion below and subscribe to Cosmic Theory Lab to explore more of the universe's most disturbing mysteries.